There's the dirty little secret that we need to take care of.
Why are you getting rid of this? Is this stained? It's really nice. It was gonna make a green salsa or a salsa verde.
And that is the grocery haul for the week. Hello, welcome to my home. If you're new here, my name is Karen. As you can see, we have a lot of things for you today. We're getting right started with some decluttering. Our intention was to go to the dump. Look at Woozy. He is my husband's buddy. You're going to see him throughout the video. Leo follows me around. Woozy follows my husband around. So funny. So we were going to go to the dump, but I was like, you know what? This punching bag has really been bugging me because I don't feel like people really use it. And I am trying to sell a few things. Normally, I would just donate them, but I saw this video about speed dating with money making ideas that you don't go, oh, I'm always going to sell things. You're like, I'm going to try to sell something and just see what it's like. Sell a few things and then think of another money making idea and try that. And so it's just something I want to show my girls that you can make money in many different ways. And so I'm talking about it with them. I'm getting their help. I'm letting them benefit from money. And that's kind of how we're doing it. So this is a funny moment. A lot of you have mentioned how my husband is really turning into quite the YouTuber. And when he went to get down the punching bag, he's like, let me turn to the side so that I'm not showing everyone my butt. And I was like, there you go. Now you're learning, because I was teasing him in our last decluttering video in the basement because he kept bending over in front of the camera. I'm like, there you go, showing everyone your butt again. So this punching bag I'm glad to get rid of too, because when it was being used, oh my goodness, it was just, you could hear it so much in the upstairs because of this supporting beam that it was attached to. Whenever you buy stuff, you get more than you need. That's how it's sold.
I had to.
Right, I know, I understand that because it had to be cut. But I don't have anything to use that for, so to keep it is a waste.
Right. What's interesting is those same sheets you could actually use as your paneling in the bathroom upstairs, and then you're going to paint it whatever you want to paint it.
If I was doing batten board, I would maybe, but those aren't the right size, so. We can't use those because
No,
they're
you
cut
can't
up.
use those, but the same thing I bought is
Right.
a 4x4 sheet. It comes
Okay.
up to the same height as a piece of paneling.
Right. So in my mind, that's going to the dump because I know Restore won't take it.
Yeah. That's not easy, but I guess that's what we have to do.
Do we want to move it to the next house? No.
5 really good sheets of wood there.
Well,
I wonder if there's something else. Is there something else we need?
Well, why
that
don't
we
you
can
think
make
about it
from
while we do the rest of the stuff?
Yeah.
So if you're not ready to make that decision, that's fine.
Well, I'm thinking, somebody's bedroom end table.
Well, we can think about that while we deal with this.
What's going here? Everything on the floor?
Yeah, I might try to sell this for $10.
But your boxes and
This
stuff.
is a donation.
Okay.
And then this is all stuff that was decluttered from your office area. Not your office area, but your work area.
So this is all trash.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
There's a lot of cardboard that has to go.
There's the dirty little secret that we need to take care of. My preference today was to get to Lowe's to get the ceiling molding that we needed for our upstairs bathroom. As you know, we've been working on our upstairs bathroom if you've been around. If you haven't been around here, then welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We've been working on our upstairs bathroom. And so packaging happens and extra things happen where, oh, and of course we were demolishing. There we go. There's the word. We were demolishing things. And so it ends up out here outside in the trash area, and then you get something new, you get all this cardboard, and it's just piling up. We do have someone who comes and takes our trash, but he comes and takes our household trash. He really doesn't even want cardboard, which is a little annoying because I live far away, so Amazon is like my very best friend on the planet, plus I do Optivia, and so that comes in boxes too. So we end up with a lot of cardboard, And even though I wanted to get right to Lowe's and get working on the bathroom, I recognize this is another way that clutter grows in your house, is when you are trying to go so fast on projects, you're not taking the time to get rid of the extras, to get rid of what you demoed, to get rid of the packaging that everything came in. So this was super important for us to do. That's just load one. That's just wrong. We took the stuff that was outside from the upstairs bathroom first, and now this is all from when we decluttered my husband's tool storage predominantly. And then a couple of declutters that I've done since then. He was like, why is this rain jacket going to the dump? It was one of those ones you get at the dollar store. I'm like, we have so many of those because we couldn't find it, and then we would buy more, and then we couldn't find them, and then we would buy more. So now I have them in a specific location so that won't keep happening.
Why are you getting rid of this? Is it stained?
Oh, no, we should donate that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's really nice.
Here, put it right there in that box.
I like that.
It really was a good thing that he took that comforter out because I intended for that to go to Goodwill, certainly not to the dump. But at the same time, I'm like, stop looking in the boxes because he's pulling things out. Why are we getting rid of this? And why are we getting rid of that? And I'm like, stop looking and just take it outside. Can you relate? Okay, there's his little buddy. There's Woozy. He's like, oh, where are you going without me? I kind of want to go outside. And we can let him out a little bit because he's kind of slow and doesn't really want to go anywhere. And he really doesn't even want to be outside. He quickly jumps back in every single time.
You think you're gonna come out? Julie out here, bud. You know, I'm not shutting the door. Huh?
It really does look good.
We get along all right. We leave each other alone when we're supposed to. You know? It's 90% of the battle.
All right, here's the last trip number 2. This looks much better. I do need to have my husband look at this. I thought this was stuff he was getting rid of, so I got to ask him that again. Maybe not. And then this is stuff for donation. I mean, I probably can't donate all of this. It's just grocery bags. And then these books, I was going to see if the Amazon buyback program was still running. And if I can't do that, then I will just donate them to Goodwill. Meanwhile, I want to get it all swept out because I'm really working hard to clean this basement as I go as well, not just declutter. If you're looking for some decluttering motivation and a DIY buddy and a cleaning buddy and a trying to get my house to look nice without killing myself buddy, then I invite you to subscribe to my channel because that is definitely what we're all about here. Oh, I guess that was holding the cord up. Oh, how many things can you watch me drop in a video? I drop things in every video. One thing that I would love to know, if you have a basement or even a garage, have you ever scrubbed the cement floor? And if so, what did you use? What did you use for chemicals? What did you use for tools? Because I feel like eventually that's going to have to happen. Not only because I have cats down here and, you know, cats do their thing and sometimes they don't hit the litter box and sometimes they have a hairball they want to get rid of. And if I don't notice it, then it becomes attached to the floor, if you know what I mean, without getting too graphic. So I would love some advice for the cement floor if you get a chance. But I do find this sweeping relaxing. Do you notice the janky broom I'm using? It's like so worn down. It's almost to the point of where all the little bristles were tied together, but I'm going to keep on using it as long as I can. Here is what it looked like before, and here is what it looks like now, and that just makes everything so worth it. And I was motivated, so I decided to just keep on going with the broom. and I was sweeping around. This is where the cat boxes are, as you can see. Cat boxes are just so nasty, and it's convenient. I mean, it's just nice if you're gone for the day and you don't have to worry about coming home for the cat like you do with a dog to let the dog out. But at the same time, it has its own kind of nasty attached to it, and it is a constant job to keep it all cleaned up. Totally off topic, but I posted on my community page that I had insomnia, and that is why you did not get a video yesterday, is because I was awake from 1 o'clock in the morning. That was when I was up for the day, and I just was completely exhausted, and I didn't have anything filmed, so I would have had to film, edit, upload, and then start filming for the next day. And I've done that before. I actually had done it the day before, but I just could not face it on yesterday. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your sweet and kind words and all of your understanding. It just made me realize what a loving, supportive community I have here and how much I appreciate it. And I've seen you guys in the comments encouraging one another, and honestly, it just does my heart so much good. You guys make the world a better place. You make the internet a better place. You make YouTube a safer place. And you are the reason that creators keep creating and keep putting up videos. All right, that's good for today. Woo! All right, I gotta show you something. There's a trash barrel we didn't need, so I thought, oh great, I can use it for cans and bottles. And one of you said, what about that laundry basket? I used to use the laundry basket, actually. Then I went to the box. So I got this trash can that we don't really use much. I don't have my glasses. Okay. Oh, there's my glasses. But it's too big. See, the bag doesn't fit, so it needs to be just a regular kitchen size trash can, I think, so. Back to the drawing board.
Hey there, we are going to make two different recipes today. We are going to make stuffed jalapeno poppers. Now, the second thing we're going to do is going to make a green salsa, or salsa verde. And we've got a bunch of different peppers here I'm going to explain. So I have a jalapeno here. Then I also have poblano pepper. These are great. They're not overly spicy, but they do really work really well. Also have some tomatillos. A tomatillo kind of looks like a green tomato, but it doesn't taste like a tomato. It has somewhat of a different flavor, at least to me it does. I like it a lot. It's very good with a green salsa. So anyway, let's get started. One thing I would say about any time you're working with hot peppers, and you should wear some form of glove, and also you should wear glasses. I'm not saying you have to, but you don't want this stuff in your eye, and it will hang around on your hand probably 6 to 8 hours afterwards, even washing your hands, because it's an oil. It's going to stick with you. I would not suggest using the peppers for an essential oil. They can wake you up, that's for sure. But point is, you should wear some gloves just to protect yourself. It makes it a lot easier. Things go quicker. Also, one of the things that you should understand, and I wasn't necessarily familiar with this, whether you're talking jalapenos or serranos, or whether you're talking chili de árbol, any of those particular peppers that are spicy, habaneros, they don't always have the same level of spice, right? So sometimes you can have a jalapeno and it's pretty mild. It doesn't mean a whole lot. Then you have another jalapeno, and this one you're like, you can barely swallow it, right? It's the same pepper as far as type, but the amount of heat can vary quite a bit. Some of that has to do with how ripe it is, right? So you can see this one's very green. This one's a little lighter green. This pepper is not as ripe as this one. So anyway, something to look up. You should do some reading on of what makes it really hot within the same type of pepper. So the first thing I'm going to do is get stuff ready to boil for the green salsa. Take the top off. I'm going to carve it down the middle like this. And depending on whether you want the seeds or not, sometimes people are really big about wanting the seeds in their salsa verde. Some people aren't. I'm going to take them out just as a general rule. I'm not huge on the seeds themselves being in there. That can affect how much heat there is when you have it. So if you put the seeds in or you don't put the seeds in, that can affect how hot what you're making is, right? So keep that in mind. So anyway, there's the jalapeno that I wanted. I'm gonna get the pan ready for this. So we did some of this before when we made a red sauce. This is a little bit different, but I'm gonna put this into the pan. We're gonna boil this for about 15 minutes till it's soft. Then we're gonna puree it, put it all together. So the tomatillos are going with this too. Tomatillos, very interesting. They have like a paper outside on them, right? That you peel off, right? They're very sticky underneath this paper. That's just the way they are. Also, you a lot of times have to wash that, so we'll take care of that in just a second. We'll wash them off. Nice color, that's one of the things. Not everybody uses tomatillos in their salsa verde. Some people just straight up use what I would think of as a lot of peppers. So I've seen people do it with like 10 jalapenos, a serrano, a little bit of onion, and they call that their salsa verde. Some people are adamant that salsa verde has to have tomatillos. Other people are adamant that it not only has to have tomatillos, but also it has to have cilantro, and cilantro is just an herb that you can put in. So some people want that in it. In our case, we'll do a little bit of each of these things. This time, in this particular one, we're not making it so that it's all peppers. Tomatillos are not necessarily spicy, they're just very flavorful. So there, I've got those done. Now I'm going to put a poblano into this as well, but I'm only going to put part of this because I'm going to stuff part of this too. So you can see both of these. So I'm going to take this and carve it on the side, right in the seam, because that's going to give me the opportunity to make a nice wedge for the stuffed pepper part that I'm doing. Okay? So I want to get that wedge. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it, that just happens to be what I did. And I'm getting the cap. So that'll be a nice piece to stuff. It's like a nice boat. Okay. Now the rest of this I am going to put into the salsa verde. This will give it a deeper color. Poblano is obviously a darker pepper, I have to say that. But it's a darker pepper, but it also gives a nice peppery flavor. Poblanos are not overly spicy. They don't bring tons of heat. They have a little bit. But they give a nice dark color to what you're doing. You'll see a lot of people will toast these, and I would say toast because that's kind of what they do on the oven. They'll do it in a pan on the oven, or they'll do it in the oven. They'll do it on a grill where they'll toast them first, and you will see a lot of times they toast them to get the skin off or peel them. In what I'm doing, that's not necessary. But you will see people that they toast this, it becomes very black and charred, and that can add a nice flavor to it as well, a very smoky flavor. Which is, I think, what most people associate with a poblano, is sort of a smoky flavor anyway. Alright, so there's the poblano. We got the jalapeno in there. Now we've got to wash our tomatillos. So give me a moment. So I want to show you, like you can see here, there's some of that papery outside of the leaf is still left on it. It comes right off with a little bit of warm water. Right? So now you can see that's all taken care of. And I am going to put these into the pot just the way they are. This is just going to be a regular medium yellow onion. It's not a white onion, so nothing overly fancy here going into the onion part of this. I'm just going to cut the ends off, give it a nice the skin on the outside, and that's it. Then I'm basically just going to quarter this a little bit like that, so I can get it into the pot. Right, so all of that is going to be a part of our salsa verde. Okay, get that in there. Also, we need garlic. So I'm not going to put this in yet, but lots of people buy garlic cloves, and we've even grown them at different points. Those are definitely the best way to go when you want a lot of flavor. You can also get garlic that comes already minced or chopped. You can get it in big containers, little containers like this, depending on how much you use. You can get them preserved in oil, which is a very interesting thing, but you should watch out for that when you pick up something that's already done. Some of them are in oil and some of them are in water. In our case, these are almost always done in water, so we're not worried about picking up extra oil or anything like that. Sometimes, like I said, people want that. They want it to be in oil when it's kept. But in our case, we prefer it to just be with a little bit of water. So I'm going to fill this up and get this boiling. Like I said, we're only going to boil it for about 15 to 18 minutes to soften things up. Then we're going to puree it, add a few other things. We'll add the garlic part of the way through, and then we'll taste our salsa verde. Now, not everybody wants this, but in my case, I want to make sure that I have some limes. We do have lime juice. We also have lemon juice that we buy in a bottle, but I wanted to make sure I had some real ones for this. I want this to taste really good. So, all right, so now we're ready to take care of our salsa verde. At this point, what I do is I take the peppers and things that I have in the salsa and I strain them going into a blender that I'm going to use, like this. Okay. This is just, I found a very easy way to do this. So you catch all of that water, because you want to use that water, right? And I'm going to spatula here, just to make sure that I get all the stuff on the edges. Just a second. Here we go. All right, get all of that, because I have some garlic there that I want to make sure that I get into it. All right, so that. Then I put the pan back down. Now I hold up what I strained. This makes it very easy because I want to keep this water. I'm going to use it to help me with the consistency of the salsa verde. So now I can pour my tomatillos, all the things I strained go back into the blender itself. Okay. At this point we put the lid on. Just take what you put in there, nothing extra at this point. We're just going to pulse this a few times. So at this point, we have what looks like a really good salsa verde. The color, even the consistency looks pretty good, so I may not even have to add any of the reserved water. A few other things we want to do, though. We do want to add some flavoring. So what I mentioned before with the limes, okay? So when I add some limes here, I'm going to probably take one lime and add it to this. The other thing is some people will add cilantro at this point. So if you have cilantro that is grown, you would take off the leaves. If you don't like the stems and then put it in there and also blend it with it. You can also use dried cilantro. That's another way to do it. We have cilantro as a dried spice. So that's another way to add it. The other thing that you can do, and this is what I was saying before, some people are not big on the pepper part. So what you can do is at this point with your salt, right? Salt I have here. I also have garlic powder and I have onion powder. I'm not going to use any more pepper, so I am adding a little bit of the onion powder. Now you know I put onion in it, but onion powder itself is dried, very concentrated. It also adds a nice flavor to this. Okay, garlic powder. Again, I put garlic in this, but the powder is not the same as it, so you can use that. Just a little bit, nothing too much. And then also the salt. You don't want to over salt anything. You want to let people salt it themselves. I am only going to add half of a teaspoon. That's all I'm adding. Okay. Now, this is when I'm going to squeeze these limes. Now, some people, they take a lime and they just do it by hand. Some people will use a tool like this to press it, right? I find that if you want to get the most, like you are definitely not losing any money on your stuff, definitely use one of these because it will bring out more of that lime or lemon than you could possibly do with your own hand a lot of times. So it's important to realize that. Now, some people, if they've kept their lemons and limes in the refrigerator, another technique that you will see people do is you put this in the microwave for a few seconds, okay? So if your lime has not come up to room temperature, okay, put it in the microwave. Don't do more than 15 seconds. So like 15 seconds is all you need. That will bring the elements inside that fruit to actually heat up a little bit and come out a lot easier when you want to express it in this, so when you squish it, basically. Right. So now that I've done that, and put it back in here, and we'll see, yeah, see I get more out of it as well, just doing that. Great technique to help people get the most out of their lemons and limes, right? One more here. I'm not going to do too much of this one. I'll do this one. These are pretty close to room temperature, even though microwaving it would help a little bit. But this one's pretty good. I'm not going to get a ton out of this, but I'll get quite a bit. Right. Now I can do it by hand, like we said before. Okay. Let's do this again. Now we're going to whip this up some more. I want to make sure this is really, really ground up. I like to have the green salsa be very fine, also have a lot of air in it. Makes a really nice dip for what you're doing. Okay, this looks really good. I'm going to roll it out on this plate so you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. Now, it's still warm, obviously. We didn't let it cool or anything like that. So one of the things you do is you can straight up take a spoon, right? This is a good thing to do, tasting it. Just get the flavor of what it is. Straight up take a spoon, try a little bit of it. That came out really well. Remember, I used one jalapeno in there, so it has a little bit of spice. This is not overly hot, but the flavor is amazing. If you have chips, you have corn chips, different things, this goes really good on enchiladas, tacos, and if you like salsas on your eggs, it's just wonderful things. This you can then and I'll do this because I do it a lot, put it in a container and just store it, and we can use it throughout the rest of the week. Anyway, hope you had fun today. Thank you.
By now it's like 2:30 in the afternoon, and so I wanted to get the kitchen cleaned up from all the cooking real quick so that we could go to Lowe's. And oh my goodness, I meant to film at Lowe's and I completely forgot. I got so involved. I don't like picking out molding. I feel like that's one of the hardest things to pick out. And so finally I said to my husband, I want you to pick whatever you think is going to be the easiest for you to work with, because I don't give a lot of attention to molding when I go into somebody's house, and I just kind of had to realize not to major on the minors. And, you know, at one point we're even thinking, well, let's go to Home Depot. We don't think we like what we're seeing here, or when we did like it, it was out of stock. But you will definitely see what we picked out when you come tomorrow. If you come tomorrow to watch the next video that's coming at you, I do need to do some painting. I think we got either all of it pre-primed or all but one piece pre-primed. Sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't, because that tends to be a bit shiny, and sometimes you end up putting as many coats or more when you get the pre-primed, because I don't understand why it's not flat paint, unless they think I'm just going to go ahead and stick it up. But I need my own shade of white. You know, all whites are not created equal. So anyway, we just needed to get ourselves over to Lowe's.
my mini haul for the week. First we got bananas. Chiquita, I don't know how you say that. Cuchica, I don't know. Then we got some buttery caramel. K-cups. Vaseline. Laundry detergent. Whipped cream to go with our pound cake. We got 2 things of orange juice. Some marinara sauce. A little blurry. Some avocado oil. Canola oil. Some shells pasta. 2 things of chicken broth. Then 2 gluten-free chocolate chips. Then onions. And then 2 cartons of eggs. Then some American cheese. Some beef. Another buttery caramel K-cup. And then paper towels and toilet paper. Then 2 red peppers. And then 3 green peppers. And then a cabbage. Some deodorant. Some shampoo. Dunkin' decaf. 4 cucumbers. Some Oxy wipes. This works really well. There. Some of the squeeze up for Leo. And some strawberries to go with our strawberry pound cake. Then we got honey. And then we got some beans. This is a really good brand. And then we got some minced garlic. Okay. And then, apple cider vinegar. Some peanut butter wafer. Peanut or coconut granola bars. And 2 blade steaks. And that is the grocery haul for the week.
Remember, as always, that God loves you and I love you too, and I can't wait to see you next time, which will hopefully be tomorrow.